A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, the book versus the Netflix TV series. Let's get started. So, Jade.
Yes.
What did you think about the Americanized version of the book versus the UK Netflix version of the series?
I just, when you told me that the authors and everyone, they tried so hard making it into a American version book, and then for the show they just turned it into, a UK one, it was annoying.
It was very annoying. Have you read Harry Potter?
One.
Yeah, you read the first book, and I think you quit halfway through the second one. But you read it, right?
Yeah.
Have you watched all of the Harry Potters?
Every year.
Yep, every year. It's a tradition in our house. So here's the thing. Why did they think that Americans couldn't handle a UK version?
I mean, yeah.
We understand Harry Potter when he speaks.
We do.
So what was the deal with having to Americanize it? They were like, Americans aren't going to understand. Was that the discussion?
That's why they did it?
I don't know. I wonder if it was the discussion. Don't you think it went like that? Americans aren't going to get it. But when we were reading it, you and I, we both picked up things that were UK versions.
Yeah, and
I had
not
to explain
so
it.
American. And
yeah. Like they still missed stuff. So we were kind of like, what was the point of that?
What was the point?
And it made her sound a little more proper, more adult, because they were trying to make it American instead of just being a teenage person in the UK.
Yeah, but making it American could have led it to its popularity.
I mean, maybe, but again, Harry Potter. We found it anyway. You know what I mean?
But the thing is that with Harry Potter, is it really that British?
Yeah.
It doesn't, it sounds...
I mean, I think that Hogwarts is in Scotland.
I know it's in Scotland, and, they kind of sound like it. And, Ron says bloody hell, but...
But that's all UK. That's all British.
Yeah, but I don't think there's as much,
I think we're just so used to it. We don't even notice, to be honest.
To be fair.
Here was my problem reading the Americanized version. I felt like it was Chinese or something because I turn on the series. Jade and I don't know anything about it because we don't want any spoilers. And they're just spitting out all of these UK things. And I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah, then we see the landscape and we're like, oh my gosh, it's in the UK? Are you kidding me? Why?
Yeah, we had no idea. It was really interesting. And I would have been fine. I would have been fine learning some stuff out about UK teens, and it would have been great, right?
Yeah, just like Harry Potter. Just like Harry Potter.
Just like Harry Potter. It would have been fine. Americans would have been... You don't have to hold our hands. And I'm saying that as an adult. That's why I wanted to hear from you, someone who actually is a teen, and this book is actually written for. So you think you would have been fine as well.
Yeah.
Same. Okay, so this book is considered an epistolary, which means that it has a bunch of different mediums. So you have text messages, you have screenshots of things, there's maps, there's all kinds of things in this book, which is kind of cool, kind of awesome. You can also see this within her... There were also police recordings.
Oh, yes, there were. And, it was crossed out, too. It looked like an actual police reporting written, and then the stuff that,
where they black out things?
They blacked it out, yes. Yeah, especially with Robbie's case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was... What did you feel about that?
Okay, so it was I'm thinking about the Robbie's case part. Still, with the police report, how there was Robbie's case, right? It was so, it was like a script. Vague. It was like a script. It was exactly like a script. But then in the show, it was so aggressive. Sorry.
Did you like that it had different mediums?
Oh, yeah. I actually did enjoy that. At first, I was confused that, she was switching to third person and then first person.
Yes.
It was so
Explain
weird.
that. Why was she writing in first person?
She was writing first person because of her logs that she was doing.
For her capstone project?
Yeah, for her capstone project. This was the whole point of the thing. That she did.
The investigation.
Yeah. She did it first person present tense for those logs, and then for the rest of the book, the actual book, it was third person past tense, and it was
at first it was kind of and that's the same thing I had the problem with going from the Americanized book version to the UK TV series because it was jarring. at first, don't you think?
Yeah.
You were like, wait, I remember the first time it happened and we were like, this is written in first person? Because we got to her log and we had to go back a few pages and we're like, it's in third person. And we got so confused and then we figured it out. But it was cool.
Yeah, jarring. Yeah, it really, really was. It was like so like random. Like we got to a certain spot then we're like, wait, this is confusing. Same with the show right away.
So sticking with how the book was formatted, I really liked how they had the persons of interest every so many chapters. There was like a list of all the people that were like on her suspect list. What did you think about that?
I liked how she bolded Jason Bell's name. She bolded the ones that she really thought were the murderer, and Jason Bell was bolded like the entire book.
Yeah.
Even though she barely talked about him towards the end, always there. And then towards a little bit of the end, she, I don't know if it was bolded or something, but it was bolded less than Jason Bell, but there were like 3 other names that were bolded.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
So I really appreciated that because this was a really heavy like cast of characters. And I probably would have had to flip through the book to remember who I was thinking did it at the time. But that was really nice because every so many chapters that list would be there and I'd be like, okay, I'm adding this person to the list or I'm going to take this person off.
Yeah, it like gave you a recap of everything that happened.
Yeah.
And what she's thinking actually like inside this investigation.
Yeah. So the structure of the book was really helpful in moving along the narrative as well as taking in all the information. It made us like we weren't as confused. It's still a little confusing because there's a lot of information, but it was helpful.
It was good. It was very helpful. They even have like a map and like it tells you like specifically tells you whether there's like text messages or like whether you're on a call and all the things that she did.
And this was also in the book. I think the town was called Fairview? And then I can't remember what it was in the UK. I might have to flash it on the screen. So now we're going to move to characters. And we're going to start with Pippa. So Pippa in the book versus Pippa in the TV series. And you have to remember again that we're talking about the Americanized version because I didn't even know there was a UK version of the book.
Oh, yeah.
So Pippa for me in the book was very aggressive. She went to the drug dealer's house, like I mentioned, and and she just told him what's what. And the drug dealer seemed to be scared of Pippa, who's this like young teenage girl. I was very confused by that. In the series for me, Pippa was like on the verge of tears in like every scene. I thought she was going to start crying and breaking down. She was very much a fragile person or character for me. What about you?
Okay, my whole thing with Pippa is this book is called A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. In the book, I never necessarily thought of her as a good girl. Yes, she got good grades. She wanted to do a murder case for her senior project and like literally said no to every single person who said you should do something else. I don't think that's much of a good girl type thing. Anything of what she did. She broke into houses. She like did a lot of bad things that wasn't good girl type.
Yeah.
And then in the beginning of the show, Pippa in the show was so, I agree with you, she was so on the verge of tears. She was just so on the verge of tears, and it was bad. Like, it was very heavy in the first, like, episode or 2.
They were, like, night and day.
Yeah, it was, like, so bad. And then towards, like, the end for the show, Pippa was just full on, like, the Pippa in the book. Yeah. She was better, and it was just so random. In the show.
That's a good point. I feel like it would have been better had Pippa start off more timid, like in the show, and then grown after all she had been through, standing up for Sal and for Ravi and their family, exactly. And been stronger.
Yeah.
Whereas in the series, she was just so weak. It was not the Pippa we read.
Like in the beginning, like the first thing that we saw, that like her friends were trying to steal some liquor, from the store, and
did that happen in the book?
No.
Wait, were they stealing liquor?
They were, with that girl's ID, and there was this lady that she needed to distract.
They were in a grocery store.
They were.
Okay.
There was liquor, I swear.
Okay. I don't know what
UK
stores
I swear.
Are like. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, and she needed to distract this girl this woman, this lady.
Which is also not a good girl thing.
It isn't, but she freaked out about it. She was on the verge of tears.
Yeah.
She's like, right when the lady asked her, like, are you doing something bad? She's like, yes, and just ran away. It was bad. And then she did it again, like, she just did not want to be a part of a crime. And then she full-on breaks into someone's house, rips the bunny like a weirdo. I'm sorry.
She, like, stabbed that bunny to
she
death.
Just both hands.
Like, it was a real bunny and she needed to get through flesh, which was so funny.
And it was such a waste of time. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I just needed to point that out.
Okay, so now we can move on to Andy Bell, who is kind of an off-screen star, if you will, because we talk about her all of the time, but she's, like, never present hardly ever.
Never here.
What did you think about her in the book versus the TV series?
With Andy Bell, I thought I got more in the show because it showed more, like, flashbacks, if you say, about, like, her actual life and, like, how she was with her sister, with her dad, even though it probably does show it in the book. I just can't recall if it did as much as it did for the show, which I thought Andy was more evolved in the show than the book because, you know, book can't see her, only can hear her from someone else's point of view.
Mm-hmm. It was very interesting to me because it seemed like they were trying to make Andy less horrible in the TV series because we have Andy blackmailing people like Mr. Warren, is that his name? The teacher?
Yes.
Yes. She blackmails him. She sleeps with him in the book. And I believe in the TV series they said they never... Did they sleep together? Oh, they did. They did.
They did, but
he said he didn't want to stop, but she's the one that didn't want to stop. So they were really changing her to make her seem like she was better than she actually was. Yeah. So in the book, her sister actually gets SA'd, and her sister finds out that Andy is the one who has sold these pills to Max Hastings.
And she doesn't care.
She's like, oh, whatever. And in the
show too.
No, in the show they try to make it like she had a plan to run away with Sal, which didn't happen, I believe, in the book because he was going to Yale in our version of the book.
Yeah, but in the show,
and he was going to break up with her. Remember, he texted her that she needed to stop or they couldn't be together, and what he meant by stop was stop being a drug dealer, and that was the text the cops kept asking him about.
Oh, okay, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, so she tried to make it seem like, oh, I'm running away and Sal's waiting on me, or I would totally go with you, my dear sister, and get the morning after pill and make sure to go to the police with you.
I think I disagree with you.
Really? Okay.
A lot.
Tell me why.
Because in the show, it shows a full flashback of that, how she does not care, and that's how she died.
But she's trying to explain why she can't. What else was different between Andy in the book and Andy in the TV series?
Yeah, I think Andy in the book, she was more aggressive. Like, people thought of her, like, as more of a saint in the show. Like, there was a full angel-type art thing on a building in the show. I remember that
in
part.
The town.
And that emphasized, like, what people thought in the book, how Andy was such a saint, and how, like, it was terrible what she did. But she also, like there was a whole other side to her in both the book and the show, I believe.
They tried to memorialize her as something that she wasn't in the town. And they had that beautiful, like, there was some kind of painting on a building. I don't remember what the building was. In the Netflix series, they had Nat De Silva be one of her best friends, which is not true in the book. Yeah, she was one of, like, her friends.
Yeah.
Because in the book version, and I think even in the TV series, she had released pictures or a video or something, a topless video of Nat that she had taken when she was, like, catfishing her. Do you remember that happening in the book? And then Mr. Ward found out and blackmailed Andy so that she wouldn't tell on him that they had been having a relationship.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I do remember that. And she also had these two other friends that she actually considered, like, her best friends.
And one of them wasn't even there. I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah, I don't.
Moving on to Cell Singh. What did you think about him, book versus TV series?
Okay.
Netflix series. I say TV because I'm an old person.
I think it's, again, with Sal Singh, just like with Andy Bell, that I got more of him in the show because of the flashbacks than I did in the book. Maybe there is, like, the same stuff that there was in the book with the show. I don't know. I just can't remember from the book.
Mm-hmm.
And love Sal Singh.
I think that what they did was they really tried to change Sal, especially in the interview where he's with the cops in the show. He gets really aggressive and throws a chair, which never ever happens. The only time we kind of question Sel is because he's not telling the cops something they want to know. And what he's not telling them is that Andy Bell is a drug dealer, because at this time he still hopes or thinks that Andy might be alive somewhere when they're questioning him, and he doesn't want to get her in trouble. So he tries to keep that secret on lockdown, and they think he's hiding that he killed her. And so they tried to make him look like he was aggressive, and nobody knew that in the show. And I thought that was gross and dirty.
Yeah. Like, in the show, why did you make it that so, like, aggressive? Why? It wasn't even like that in the book. He just threw a chair, started screaming. I'm like, this does not look good for you, Sal. Why did you do this?
Yeah. And that was definitely something that has to do with, I guess, the director and the type of character he wanted to make Sal in the show. On to the brother, Ravi.
Ravi's my favorite character. I loved every scene he was in. I didn't care if it was bad or good or what he did. I just loved Ravi. Mainly because my whole thing is I like romance, and I just liked the potential of Ravi and Pippa being together. And, like, when they got together, I was like, okay. But whenever the scenes before they got together, they were amazing, and I loved them.
And what do you think about him versus book versus TV series?
Okay, in the book, he was definitely more involved than he was in the show. They just cut out so much that Ravi wasn't in, and I hated it.
Me too.
Mm-hmm. It was just so bad, and I'm like, why? Why did you do this to my Ravi?
Well, it seems kind of weird, because we have, I don't know, sometimes you just wonder if these writers who are writing this script and the director actually read the book, because it feels like they didn't.
Right.
Pippa tended to take Ravi with her kind of as the muscles, not like, like he's this big strong guy who can beat up people, but just because she is alone, just because she's out asking questions and she thinks potentially there is a different murderer than Sel. She's trying to prove that he didn't murder Andy. And so it's like, well, if there's still a murderer out there, you should probably not go alone when you're asking people questions. And so there's times when he's not there and it just seems weird. It's like, why would you walk into that without someone to help you? Like in the catacombs and all of these like caves where they're doing the calamity parties, there is a scene with the drug dealer, Howie, and she's just like paying him money to get information, which was weird. I didn't understand. Your thoughts?
For the show, there were caves, calamity parties and caves. She was talking to the drug dealer for the first time, and then did like this 7 Minutes in Heaven game, saying to this random guy, "Hey, I want some drugs. Can you show me your drug dealer?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And he said that he's right in there. She says, "I'm a friend of his." Complete stranger says, "Okay, I'll pay if you talk." He's like, "Why should I?" Okay, the thing I don't get is, why did he talk? That's his money that the stranger owed.
That's
why
right.
did he talk?
She went there to pay a debt and get some answers.
Of a stranger's.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he was really hard up for $60 as a drug dealer.
I guess.
With all those kids buying his drugs. That was kind of weird. But Ravi was nowhere in sight. And in the book, they end up going to the drug dealer's house, and Ravi's there kind of to back up Pip and make sure that things are okay and she's not alone. So that made a lot of sense. It didn't make a lot of sense to me personally in the TV series. The next character is Max Hastings. What are your thoughts, book versus Netflix series?
Okay, so in the book, there's this scene with Max Hastings, Naomi, Kara, and Pippa, when Pippa finds out about Naomi and Max killing somebody. And Max is so aggressive with it.
Well, he doesn't actually. They don't actually kill someone in the book. They cripple him. He's in a wheelchair.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
My
So they
fault.
they changed that. It's good. You
Yeah,
stumbled on something they
changed.
changed.
They did change it.
Because in the book, or in the show, it's a head-on like collision.
And they did die. He did. Yeah, the person, they died. Yeah. And they changed the scene completely. In the show, they were at this
school?
They were at the school celebrating the death, or not celebrating, sorry, but memorializing the death of Andy.
Mm-hmm.
Why 5 years? I thought that was confusing to me.
I guess it's like a milestone, like 5, 10, 15, possibly.
Maybe. Okay, that
does make sense.
That does make sense. I was like, why randomly 5 years later?
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, I thought that was convenient.
It's an anniversary.
Yeah.
They might do it every year. We don't know.
Yeah, but that was nowhere near in the book, ever. Yeah. And that is when Pippa found out Naomi, and Max wasn't even there for that scene. They weren't even at the house when that scene took place in the book. Mm-hmm. They were at Kara's house. And they just changed it completely. I really hated that because Max was so amazing in that scene in the book. I loved it.
Max was amazing in the TV series.
Yeah, he was a lot better.
And I hated that. Mm-hmm. You're changing characters that did not need to be changed. So we softened up Max, made him more of kind of a charismatic character that kind of draws you in. I think of like Twilight. Remember when Edward talks about how everything about him is meant to like pull her in because he's a predator. Yeah. It's kind of like that. He's got that kind of charm, but in reality, he's a monster. He SA'd Becca Bell, which is Andy Bell's sister. He drugged her, and it's terrible. It's awful. And so in the book, he's a lot more nasty. It's like he can't hold his temper at all, which I think is really great because it helps people like us all recognize people like him.
Yeah.
But it's a little harder in the TV series. So, I mean, I guess I don't hate it in the way, like, yes, a lot of people like that are very charming, and that's okay to do. But I kind of like that he was evil and nasty in the book. So I was kind of bummed by that change. Anything else on him?
Yeah, I really have nothing. He did the same thing in the book than he did in the movie, the main part, you know. He got drugs from Andy Bell, which was a very important key point in the investigation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so now we're going to move on to the Ward family. Now we have Elliot Ward, who is the teacher. Andy's teacher. I don't remember if he teaches English,
but
I
think it's history.
He's a teacher. And then we have his two daughters, Kara, who is Andy Bell's best friend, and Kara's sister, Naomi.
Who was in the group of Andy Bell, Sal Singh.
Yeah, she was one of the best friends.
Yes. Well, not really. No.
Sorry. She was one of the best friends of Sal.
Yes, they were in this little group. The friend group. Yeah, they were in this friend group that the show I think did a better job of separating from the best friends in the friend group.
Yeah. Except there was this one really cool character who was kind of bigger. He was like a black guy. Yeah. I don't even remember his name. I'm sorry. Remember it. But he was like in pictures in the TV show. Cool. And he wasn't even part of it.
A part of the show. And I don't even think he was a part of the book really, but he was there.
Yeah, it was really weird. We kept seeing pictures of him in the friend group, but he wasn't in the actual show.
To have this random guy who's in the friend group.
And she never contacted him.
Never did. Never
but everyone else. So that was kind of weird.
Yeah. He's absolutely there. Promise you that.
So the weird thing about this was, in the book, she has a tie to Kara being her best friend and Mr. Ward being like a second father to her. And so she feels some type of loyalty to the Ward family. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they did that not only in the book, but in the series. What about you?
I definitely think that is true, especially with the teacher, Mr. Ward, gave off that loyalty vibe with all the people, including Sal. Are we doing spoilers?
Spoilers are fine.
Okay, cool. Like including with Sal, he felt that Mr. Ward was loyal and that he could trust him, and then kills him at the end. Yeah. Just full on murders him.
Drugs him.
He says to Pippa saying, you know, I talked to him about Yale so he could think of a good thing to remember while he goes out. No, that doesn't make it right. That
It's
doesn't.
like, you're still killing him.
And
sir.
yeah, and
Sir,
you're still going to jail, by the way.
So back to Kara. Kara's pretty devastated because they've lost their mother.
Yeah.
And so she doesn't want to put Naomi in jail, but I remember that upsetting me in the book because she basically just lets these people get away with crippling someone. Mm-hmm. And in the series she lets them get away with actual murder.
With Kara in the book, she was like, I agree with you. She was saying how she didn't want to lose Naomi, so she didn't want Pippa to tell the police at all. She said, please don't do this. I can't lose my sister and my mom. And then in the show, you know, she's not even there. She's not even, like, able to say, like, yo, what's going on?
There's only one argument early on, like in the first episode, about her even talking to her sister.
Yeah, it's weird.
As upset as I was in the book with this happening, I get why the writer chose to have them get away with this murder in this series, in the TV series, and then the crippling of the guy in the book, just because that's sort of sometimes how real life happens. We keep secrets that we shouldn't because it's going to hurt other people, and it's not always about what's fair. It definitely wasn't fair. Yeah. Oh, and we also remember that. That's a score for Auntie for making you watch that. But it definitely gave off I Know What You Did Last Summer vibes.
It really did.
It did.
Mm-hmm. That's when we have a whole discussion.
One of the people on my board, on my persons of interest, was the guy that was in the wheelchair that we never met in the book at all or in the TV series thus far. Because I was like, he's going to come back, find out who those people are, and he's going to kill them all. So I thought maybe he had killed Andy at one point, which would have been awesome.
Okay, yeah.
But he didn't.
No, did not. Back to Naomi. She was this sweet, soft, charismatic character. When we listened to it, I heard her voice. It was so, like, soft. Like, all you could hear is just, like, softness whenever she spoke. And then in the show, she was more, like, a little bit more aggressive, which I kind of didn't like. Because I liked how Naomi was so, like, oh...
Was she aggressive?
She wasn't aggressive. She was just, like, less, soft than she was in here. I thought she was like a really soft character that said, oh, please, no, it wasn't my fault, or like, I'm so sorry, please forgive me.
Yeah.
And like in the show, she was like less than that. She was more of an actual older sister.
Okay. Elliot Ward. I really hated how they portrayed him in the TV series because in the book, Elliot Ward kills Cell Singh. In the TV series, you get a chance to tell the stories of the victims. By victims, I mean Andy Bell and Cell. And you can show those in flashbacks. They did not show that, where Mr. Ward killed him. Yeah,
they didn't show, like, how it would have went out if Sal killed Andy. Like, they didn't even try doing that together, because it was showed in the book that they're both in the woods at some point. They could have, like, made a flashback of them, like, not really being together, but still both being in the woods, her being dead, you know, all that stuff.
I don't remember there being a flashback of him fighting with Andy. Did they show that? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Sort of.
Maybe.
I kind of remember it. Because
that's where Andy actually... It's so weird because you could argue that Andy wasn't killed by anyone. It was like a series of unfortunate events because she was there with Mr. Ward. They were arguing about the fact that she wanted, well, that was another thing. In the book, she wanted a recommendation so she could go to Yale with Sal.
Yeah.
In the TV series, she wanted money, cash money, so she could run away with Sal. Mm-hmm. Which was not a thing in the book.
Yeah, it was completely weird.
So they're arguing, but they're arguing in the book, and he pushes her after he says she attacked him, and she hits her head, and he goes to go in the other room, I don't know, to get something
to get a first aid kit.
Yeah, and she leaves, and he can't find her. He's driving around looking for her everywhere, and then all of a sudden the next day she's pronounced missing, and he thinks that she went off somewhere and possibly died. Mm-hmm. And then there's this argument about Cell, and he thinks, ooh, I can go ahead and kill him and just blame it on Cell and get away with all of this because it really wasn't my fault.
Yeah. because he got really scared after, like, he went to go get something and then came back. She was gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, oh, no, everyone's going to find out what happened. Oh, my gosh, no.
Yeah. And so this is an important thing for me to mention just because in the books, they talk about how Mr. Ward took dry blood off of the floor where Andy hit her head and put it under Sel's fingernails to frame him. And he also took blood and put it in Andy's car, which is like not like we don't even see a car in this TV series. It's like, does Andy drive? We don't know.
Yeah, it's not even a thing in the series.
And it's a big deal because it's confusing. It's a confusing piece to the case because someone has moved her car. Later we find out it's Becca. We think maybe it's Mr. Ward. And it's just abandoned and no Andy. Back to Sel and Mr. Ward. I just feel like it was a real missed opportunity not to have those flashbacks. I think they would have been important because I had a big gripe about it in the book. Because in the book, Mr. Ward is drugging Sel.
Oh, yeah, he just keeps drugging him.
At first,
he dies.
He actually makes him take it. And I can't remember how he makes him take the pills.
I can't remember
Did he have a gun? I don't recall. Or it was like a knife or something. He had something that made him swallow some pills. So he's sort of drugged. And then he starts shoving more pills down his throat. And I feel like, that's probably not how that would work. I think you would spit him out or you choke. I don't know how you can get them down his throat, but he did.
Mr. Ward was thinking like, yeah, no, I can't do this. I can't just kill him. I have to make it look like it was that he unalived himself. So I have to OD him. And so he just kept doing pills, which I thought was very good. I was like, why don't you just stab him? But no, he thought of that very, very smart. And I was like, okay, you do you.
Yeah, so you had the opposite. You thought, like, that was plausible.
I thought he was very smart.
I didn't.
Really?
Have you ever, like, tried to shove pills down somebody's throat? Like, can you imagine that?
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to see it. I was like, let me see how this happened because I don't believe you. And I think they probably, if they had done it, they probably would have done a needle or something cleaner and easier and made him look like he overdosed that way.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but, like, the DNA and the fingernails and, like, remembering about the car, it really, really did frame Sal.
Yeah, and that was important, and they didn't show any of that in the TV series.
It really didn't.
Continuing on with Mr. Ward, we get to the end of the book and end of the TV series to find out that he has this secret apartment that he never got rid of, and there is a girl in there, and Pippa believes that this girl is Andy Bell, and she breaks in like the upstairs. It seemed like an attic, but maybe it's just the upstairs in the UK because I don't know how the buildings are structured. But she ends up finding this girl who claims to be Andy, and she's supposed to have, like, I think they said the mind of a 12-year-old, so she's on the spectrum, and she does honestly believe she's Andy Bell. Now, in the book, Mr. Ward says that he has never touched her or anything. He just wanted to take care of her. And he's kind of had a little bit of a mental break there. He really, truly believes, he mentions that he saw Andy one day and he picked her up and took her home and took care of her. What were your thoughts?
Okay, so I have so many thoughts on this, which is why I wanted you to tell everyone the summary.
In the book, she was happy being there, as far as we know, with Mr. Ward, because he was taking care of her. No one had ever paid attention to her before. At some point, we get a line from the police saying that she was a runaway, she had been on drugs for a long time, and she had been sober with Mr. Ward. In the TV series, she was straight up kidnapped and locked in that room or the attic, whatever you'd like to call it, and she was terrified for her life. And she told Andy that he kidnapped her. She knew exactly who she was. She never thought for one moment that she was Andy Bell in the TV series. And I thought they did that wrong. And I really didn't like how they made, once again, Mr. Ward a worse person than he already is. He's a terrible person, but they're really trying to tweak all of the characters to make them either really a little bit nicer or a little bit more evil, and it just doesn't work, I don't think, in the TV series. They should have stuck closer to the book.
So in the book, the police or nothing, like, they never said anything about how she was, like, had a disability or anything?
In the book, they did.
Okay, that's what I liked about it.
Yeah, they didn't say that in the TV series at all because she was just some girl or woman, she seemed more like a woman, walking on the street, and he just like took her, and she always knew who she was, and she was terrified of him.
Mr. Ward, like, I agree with you. I really hated how, like, in the series they made him more of, like, a bad guy, which he was a bad guy.
Well, he tried to lock Pippa up there with the woman. Remember, he did lock her up there because he didn't know what to do in the TV series. She went upstairs, found this woman who's like, I'm not Auntie Belle, this guy's crazy, he kidnapped me off of the street, and he locked them both in there.
So, in the book, this is the thing that I hated the most about it, because they changed the ending, like, it's all, like, the same concept, but they changed it a lot. Because in the book, Pippa called the police before she even got to the house, saying, come,
that was a
hurry,
funny scene.
Come, yes.
In the book. Remember, she called the lady, and she's like,
Stay outside.
Yeah.
And she's like, no,
she's
I'm
like,
going in.
I'm going in.
I'm
She's
going
like,
in.
where are you? She's like, outside. Stay outside. No, I'm going in. That was funny.
And then I liked how he just invited her in. I like how he's like, I'm not hiding anything. Come in.
And once again, we have another character, like, in the book, where he just, like, tells her all this information.
Yeah.
It's like, for what reason?
Yeah, he was like in the book and in the show, he was scared about losing his daughters. He didn't want them to be alone now that their mom was dead. Yeah. He's like, this can't happen. I needed to kill Robbie, because that was a reason to kill someone.
Well, yeah, he decided that Robbie was a scapegoat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he was like, well, if he dies, they'll just blame him. He texts from his phone saying that he was sorry that he had done it.
Yeah. Yeah, he was really smart about it. I really think he was. And now that he saw Auntie Belle, he's like, oh no, the plan's going to be ruined. I killed Robbie for nothing. I have to kidnap her. I have to keep her away from everyone else. Again, I liked how, like, the kidnapped girl in the book was, like, perfectly fine being there, because he did take care of her. But then in the series, just straight up kidnapped.
Yeah.
I really liked the book ending more than the series ending.
I did, because it was a little creepier.
Mm-hmm. It was a little creepier and
more sinister, because it's like, here's this girl who's saying the other reason why, because she was saying she was Auntie Belle, and this is why it was so important, because she said she was Auntie Belle, the police had to take her to the station, and then the Belle family, which we're going to talk about next, had to come down. They had to call that family and say, we think we found your daughter, just for them to come to the station to find out it wasn't her, which was devastating in the book, which also terrified the shit out of Becca, which was also important.
And the thing is like, Pippa was already saying to the police, I found Auntie Belle, she's alive, come to this house now. And then the police, they had to at least bring her in. But right when she saw a fake Auntie Belle, she's like, oh, you are not her at all.
On to our last family and characters, which will be the Bell family. So we have Jason Bell, who's the father. We have Auntie Bell, who has since passed. And we have Becca Bell, Andy's sister.
Yes.
So Jason Bell is high on the suspect list, bolded, as you mentioned earlier, for, I think, the whole book almost.
Yeah, because, like, the first thing that she figured out was that Jason Bell was rude to Andy and Becca their whole lives.
Well, more than rude. He was, like, mean. He was always digging at them, like, little digs at them, like, you're chubby or you're stupid. Or
he bullied his daughters, that Becca would just hurt herself. Okay. And then Andy was just, like, a straight-up bully, just like her father, because that's how she coped, I felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
And, and Justin Bell was just not a good father at all, and was just so rude and, like, angry. That's why he was high on the suspect list.
And it made it feel like he was absolutely a potential suspect. Whereas in the TV series, I think we saw him once.
He was just on the phone yelling, and then that was it.
It was almost like he was an afterthought in the TV series.
It really was.
They didn't even use him properly.
But, like, really, for me, I felt like it was like that in the book, too. Like, in the beginning, full on, thought it was Jason Bell. But towards the end, he was still on the suspect list. It was just, like, getting, like, less and less about, like, we stopped talking about him. We did.
Yeah, we forgot about him for a while.
Forgot. But, like, you know, in the persons of interest, happy that it's in the book, because it recaps everything, that Jason Bell is still bolded and still Pippa still thinks that it is Jason, though.
We get to the end of the book,
Okay.
and we find out that, dun dun dun, it is Becca who has killed Andy. But once again, dun dun dun, it is not.
At the same time.
Yeah, and that was kind of confusing, but like I mentioned before, it was like a series of unfortunate events. Andy had gone to Mr. Ward's to argue in the book for a recommendation and in the TV series for cash money, and they fight. She ends up falling back and hitting her head and leaving with a concussion, and then gets to her home where she gets in a fight with her sister because her sister confronts her for being a drug dealer and selling drugs to Max Hastings, and Max SAing Becca. Because of this, when they get into a fight and Becca pushes her, she hits her head again, and this time falls on the ground and chokes on her own vomit. And so once again, it's like you can argue that neither Mr. Ward or Becca killed her. Yeah. But Becca did cover it up, and so did Mr. Ward.
Yeah,
and Mr. Ward did it in a worse way because he killed someone to cover it up.
And it showed that in the show, Becca just kind of like stood there while she vomited and just like did not help her at all. Just let her stay there and then cleaned it up. Yeah, I really think it's like a both and neither at the same time.
Yeah.
It really is. It
they
can be
both
debated
could have made
either
better
way.
choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Stanley, the newspaper guy who was racist, was not in the TV series, but he was in the book. That was important because of where Becca hid Andy's body on a farm, and the farm was about to get sold. And she couldn't have that happen because she was afraid they were going to find her sister's body. And in the TV series, she ends up hiding her in the catacombs in, I guess, a well. And we see her take Pippa there at the end. And it was really confusing because Pippa ends up finding the drugs in the bunny, as you mentioned earlier, and she tries to like stab that poor bunny to death, and it's like, you can just cut it open. It's cloth.
Like, yeah.
But she ends up finding the drugs. So how did, in the TV series, Becca end up drugging Pippa with the Rohypnol to take her to the wells in the cave to kill her?
Well, we don't know for sure that was the Rohypnol that she used.
I imagine that it was. Like, where else is she getting it from?
I didn't.
She buying some more from
Probably.
someone?
It was never, like, specified in
so that was
neither the
kind of
book or
confusing.
the series.
Yeah.
I thought, like, we just needed the drugs from the bunny just to verify that she was a drug dealer.
Right.
I didn't really get there at all.
No. At the end of the day, would you say that Becca is a killer?
Yes, she was, because she tried to kill Andy. Pippa.
That's true. In both, she tries to...
In both, yeah. So
she decides she's going to
yes.
kill her. Yeah.
I do say yes, because she did drug her, dragged her through the woods.
Okay, so can we say originally that Becca and Mr. Ward were not killers, and it was just like a series of unfortunate events?
I feel like we can absolutely say that.
And the last thing that I know is your favorite thing to talk about is the dog.
Yeah. I just, like... She was so dramatic with the dog's death. It was like, Barney, where are you? Dad, hurry. And I'm like, why? It's a dog. It's okay. It's been like 2 seconds. Calm yourself.
She was very panicked.
Something
happened
panicked.
to the dog.
And then I'm like, okay. And then like days passed.
But I think that she got a note. I'm going to have to, like, put something in.
I think she did.
And I don't remember that in the TV series.
Okay, no.
Because they're at a birthday party.
Because, like, yeah, they're at her little brother's birthday party in the series. But in the book, it shows that someone barged into her house, going onto her computer, saying a million times whatever the message was. I forgot. It was saying, like...
That was in the TV series. Wasn't it?
No. Oh. It wasn't, like, repeated.
Okay, so
like
this was the
in
confusing part for a little while. She was getting messages via text, and then she was getting messages via note. And one of them was referring to her as Pippa by her name, and the other one was calling her, like, a biatch. And so she eventually, at the end of the book, realizes it's two different people. And I can't remember which one was the one sending her the notes about the dog. I think that was Becca. And the dog had, like, accidentally drowned in the book, I think. Oh,
yeah. So in the book, I do remember this because I was so fixated on the dog death and, like, why does she care so much? It's just a dog.
Yeah.
But Becca said, oh, yeah, I did kidnap your dog. And I did, let it go. I let it free. I let it, like, it was alive.
Into the lake where it drowned and died.
Yeah, and then it was just, like, so night. She's like, I think she was like, it was, like, dark outside. I guess he must have got lost and drowned in the body of water.
That sounds very fishy,
It really
doesn't
was.
it?
I mean, yeah. Yeah, it really was. But
I mean,
swear
dogs can dog pedal. They don't even have to be taught. They know how to do that. So that's weird.
In the show, did he get run over?
In the show, they mentioned something like it was a hit and run and he was found on the side of the road.
Which I feel like...
part of the reason why they said she was so upset is because she felt like the dog died and it was her fault because she was putting out all this information and they wanted her to stop.
Yeah.
We're just, I guess, not dog lovers. I mean, you don't have to be a dog lover, but it was really dramatic. And we're really just more like, oh, we do love animals. We don't want to see them hurt. But at the same time, it's like, it's just a dog. This is not a person. Let's be grateful for that. I guess that's where we went first.
Yeah, and maybe it's me not having, like, kind friends. But in the series, it showed how Pippa's friends were all just like, oh, no. Your dog died. Here, come here. And they all did, like, a good group hug.
Dog lovers do that. It's really weird. Yeah, like, I have dog friends and cat friends, and they're just like, my poor cat, my poor dog. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and in the series, she, like, during testing, she had a tennis ball on her desk. Why?
Oh, yeah.
She had a
tennis ball. It would be weird that they would let you take something personal in there. Maybe they do for, like, luck.
I thought it was for her loss, and I'm like, it's a dog. Don't break the rule.
I think she took it, like, because she loved
but
him.
then and she was laying in his bed.
In the bed. That killed Auntie. That killed me because, you got fleas. Mm-hmm. And no. It's
and
a
the mom was like, so are you going to school? She's like, no, I don't think this is what Barney would have wanted in the series. The mom's like, you're going to school. She's like, okay.
Yeah, that was really weird. And also, just to add to that, the dog love is real, but also people were more mad about the fact that he was a golden retriever in the book and like a sheepdog or like a really shaggy white dog in the series. That's weird. And I was like, these are the things you care about? Okay, cool. I was just happy it wasn't a person. Mm-hmm. And she was like, no, my dog. Yeah. I mean, it's a part of their family, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. And the last thing I have to say about the dog thing is that I thought that the series death was more realistic than the book one, because drowning in a lake, really, and then just a hit and run does make more sense.
Yeah.
If Becca just let him go, hit and run, that makes perfect sense.
Honestly, if that's what you were going to do, I think they could have done it. And it's like everything they changed, it's like, fine, I understand that you want to change things, but do it in a good way, in a right way.
Yeah.
Like they could have had the killer come by in a car and hit that dog in front of her. That would have been more dramatic than her being told and then finding the dog on the side of the road with everyone else.
Yeah.
And it was weird because all these people came out to see the dog. As if maybe it did get hit by a car and they all heard it and ran out, but we didn't get to see it. So what was your favorite, the book or the TV series?
Book, only because of the ending.
Book, same. I don't think just because of the ending. I just think there was a lot more detail that was really missing. Like, I wonder what I would have thought of the TV series had I not read the book.
That's my whole thing. Series, from a book, like, they can be better, but they usually aren't. When you read the book first, they usually aren't.
Going forward, are you going to read the second book in the series? Because this is actually a trilogy.
No. I don't want to. I have all three, but I don't want to.
I remember you got these for your birthday.
Yeah, I got 2 of them from different friends who don't even really talk to each other. They both got me the exact same book on my birthday.
So that's why we decided to read it. Because it was so
recommended. That's why we decided to read it.
But it was fun. It was fun to read it and know what people are talking about at least.
Oh, yeah. But I fully think that, why is this a trilogy? I don't even know a single thing about the other 2 books, but it could have ended here. I mean, there was an ending.
I can't remember because I read these a long time ago when they first came out, but I do believe each one of them is a standalone, but they kind of tie together. So it might be like that they're in the same world.
Sequel.
I can't remember. Okay, that has been our breakdown of the book versus the movie. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I hope that you enjoyed this. Thank you again to my niece Jade for coming on here as a guest and helping me out with this book discussion. I hope to do more of these in the future. All right, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope that this was helpful. Thanks for listening. And as always, don't forget to read a book, write a book. Sincerely, Sylvia.